Hello Easy Nation and welcome to a very special video. So, every 6 months of a new year, I always do a top 10 movies of the year so far. That gives you kind of a halfway break and tells you what's going on with my, how I'm feeling about the movie so far. 2024 is over, and that is the 5th year of the 2020s. So I thought it would be a very cool video to do my top 20 movies, because I did a top 20 movies with Randy Cage back when me and him did the Easy K show. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to do the top 20 movies of the decade so far. That's from 2020, the COVID year, to last year. So I'm looking forward to revealing this list. There's a lot of good movies on this list. It was kind of fun to, I took my top 10s from every year, inserted each of those movies in there, and like, okay, I'm gonna put that there, I'm gonna put that there. So it was a really fun video to do. So let's begin with this top 20. And obviously I gotta go with 3 honorable mentions. My first honorable mention is Belfast. Belfast was that movie directed by Kenneth Branagh, basically about his life. It was a black and white. It's a great film. I really enjoy Belfast, and it was kind of interesting seeing how he grew up in Belfast, which I believe is Ireland. Is it Belfast, Ireland? It might be. I don't know. But anyways, Belfast is great. My next honorable mention is The Trial of the Chicago 7, which is the first #1 movie on my list from a previous year, and this was a COVID year, so it kind of gets a top #1 movie on an asterisk. But Trial of Chicago 7 was a decent movie. It had Aaron Sorkin direct it, basically about the Chicago 7 who were on trial, and it was a very interesting movie. It was a very weak year for movies, just because there was hardly anything out due to all the COVID restrictions in the movie theaters. And a lot of movies got pushed back that year. My third honorable mention is my last movie of the 2020. That's right, there will be no 2020 movie in my top 20. So that just showed you how strong or how weak 2020 was. But So was a brilliant Pixar film and really told a great story about how this guy, he doesn't feel like he's done anything in his life, but really he realizes he has made an impact on a life. So it's great. I just picked it up on 4K. And I'm looking forward to checking that out, hopefully in the new year. Alright, now it's time to begin. My number 20 is King Richard. King Richard was the movie that Will Smith won his Oscar for. Also got him banned from getting award consideration for a while due to the slap in the face of Chris Rock. But King Richard is about Richard Williams, who nurtured Serena and Venus Williams, how about getting them into tennis, how they became the superstars in the sports. The movie's great. I've seen it recently. I think last year or 2 years ago. I can't remember when. It still holds up. Pretty good movie. So yeah, King Richard, definitely worthy of being number 20. At number 19, I'm going with The Holdovers. This is the one that came out in 2023. It's a Paul Giamatti movie where basically he's a teacher. He has to basically babysit these kids during Christmas break because nobody wanted to pick him up for Christmas. And then it's basically about how he and him struggle to really connect, but then at the end of the movie, you find a really there's a deep respect and deep relationship between these characters. So yeah, I really like Holdovers. Really good. It's also a Christmas movie apparently, because I forgot about that. At number 18 is Fall Guy. This is a movie that I just saw last year. Really enjoyed Fall Guy. Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt. Really good movie. I really like it pays love to stuntmen who do this craft. Really like Fall Guy. It's definitely a worthy one to peel on this list. At number 17 is Transformers 1. This is the Transformers kind of prequel on Cybertron about how Optimus Prime and Megatron become enemies, how they learn to transform, and as they're dealing with an alternate foe. It reminds me a lot of like X-Men First Class, but it's a very good Transformers movie. Very enjoyable. Love Transformers 1. This was a movie that I was shocked was as good as it was. At number 16 is A Complete Unknown. This might be recently biased, and that you always want to have that with the last movies that came out the year before. But Complete Unknown was a biopic on Bob Dylan. I think it did a terrific job. It changed the way that other biopics, especially like around Elvis or Johnny Cash, because Bill Dylan didn't really, that I know of, got into drugs or alcoholism. He was just a guy trying to play music, and he was trying to break into from folk music to rock at the end. I thought it was great. Timothy Chalamet, one of the first movies on this list, and won't be the last. At number 15, I'm going with Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. I have a lot of movies from last year. Like I said, it might be recency bias, but this is a very good film. Anna Taylor-Joy plays the character that Charlize Theron played in Mad Max Fury Road. She is basically Furiosa. She goes to the Dome. How her journey from that into Mad Max Fury Road is great. Also, Chris Hemsworth was a great villain, very good in the movie. I thought this movie was great. I love Furiosa. At number 14, I'm going with The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. This was the Nick Cage movie where Nick Cage played himself, where a rich billionaire wanted him at his house for his birthday because Pedro Pascal loves Nicolas Cage. The movie's hilarious. It's great. I love it. It's just a love letter to a lot of Nick Cage films, but it's also a very good film. I enjoyed this movie. I definitely want to own this movie on physical media one day. At number 13, I'm going with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This is my second animated movie on this list. I have quite a few animated movies on this list, now thinking about it. But this is the follow-up to Into the Spider-Verse, where Miles Morales, he is introduced to the Spider-Verse of Spider-Mans. All these different characters and how all the little references to Spider-Man. The movie's animation is absolutely beautiful. The story is great. I'm looking to the final part whenever that comes out. It might be a while. I did hear the directors of the movie have stepped away, so maybe we'll get that new one. Hopefully it's just as good. But sometimes the third movie's not always the best. At number 12 is The Menu. That is Ralph Fiennes, Anna Taylor-Joy again, and basically there's this chef. He makes these really weird foods, but then it becomes a kind of social cultural thing. The menu's great. The food I would never eat because I'm a simple man. I just would rather have a cheeseburger and fries personally, and but the movie's great. It really tells you a lot about society and all that kind of stuff. At number 11, I go in with Spider-Man No Way Home. This one is, you have Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and it really closes the gap to the Homecoming trilogy of Spider-Man movies. This was a really great MCU movie, and I believe it is the only MCU movie on my top 20. So that just shows you the MCU has not really held up for me in the 2020s so far. But I really do like No Way Home. I thought it was a really great story, and about how he loses Aunt May and he has to just fight, and then also bringing back characters of Norman Osborn from the original Spider-Man movies, along with Doc Ock and some other characters like Electro from Jamie Foxx, which was a terrible movie, but he was able to be in a good Spider-Man movie. It was pretty cool. So No Way Home is great. My number 10 is the original Dune. I absolutely loved the first Dune movie, and it really enhanced with the second Dune, and really all the things that he set up in the first Dune pays off in the second one. And I love the story. I love the first Dune. It's great. My number 9 is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This was the fourth movie of the new Planet of the Apes series. This one was produced by the 20th Century Studio, which is Disney pretty much. But I'm glad they were able to continue what the first story, what Andy Serkis built on, and I love the journey of the characters, and I love the tribes, the clans. The Eagle clan part of the ape tribe was really cool, and this movie was great. I've only seen it the one time. It's one of those movies that I would definitely want to own one day, and I'm looking forward to rewatching. But I love all the Planet of the Apes movies, and this one was just as good. I think it was better than War for the Planet of the Apes, but not as good as Rise or Dawn. It might be better than Rise. I would have to think about it. My number 8 is The Batman. The Batman was an incredible film. Matt Reeves made Batman more of the comic book Batman, which I think this is probably the best Batman translated from the comic books, because we get to see that detective Batman, the year 2 Batman. Also seeing villains like the Riddler really done right, who was a little mixed in with Hush. And then also seeing a new version of Catwoman, which we've seen about 3 versions of it. And I thought Zoe Kravitz did a really good job. And also bringing in Penguin, which the series was good as well. And I just think the Batman is really good. I'm really looking forward to the sequel. Hopefully it comes out next year. At number 7, I'm going with In the Heights. In the Heights was a really good Lin-Manuel Miranda produced story, which is directed by John Chu, who did Crazy Rich Asians and Wicked. In the Heights was great. The music was great. They had a lot of that Lin-Manuel Miranda isms where people are singing over top of each other, but it feels really right. The story was great. It's about an immigrant trying to make his way in America and trying to get back home, but realizing home is where he is. And I think In the Heights is great. And also that grandma scene is a real tearjerker sometimes. At number 6, I'm going with Tick, Tick, Boom. This was my favorite movie, I believe, of 2021. In the Heights was the first movie I saw in the theaters, and I did the LeBron James when I re-entered the movie theaters because it'd been a while. So Tick, Tick, Boom is great. Andrew Garfield, directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda, takes the stories about John Carson, I think, who wrote the movie, wrote the Broadway play Rent, and just tells the story about how this guy is trying to make a Broadway play, trying to make it big, trying to not be poor his entire life, and makes an incredible film, Broadway play. Andrew Garfield is great as this character, and really, once again, should have won an Oscar. I think he should have won it over Will Smith for King Richard. I get it. It's not probably popular thing to say. Maybe it is now that with when he slapped Chris Rock, but Tick, Tick, Boom is great. Love this movie, and yeah. And also, Lin-Manuel Miranda proved to me he can direct. He can do directing pretty well. At number 5, I'm going with The Wild Robot. Wild Robot hit me to my core. DreamWorks movie. The last DreamWorks movie that hit me this way was the first How to Train Your Dragon movie. But this movie is great. The story is really cool about this robot connecting with these little creatures and then eventually becoming kind of the guardian of the forest. Was a very enjoyable film, and I love all the voice acting in there as well. But Wild Robot blew me away. It also looks amazing, and DreamWorks, when they want to, can make really terrific animation movies. My number 4 is Wonka. Wonka was a movie that, when I saw it, made me cry. The music was great. I've never been the biggest Willy Wonka fan, but this movie kind of turned me into a Willy Wonka fan. And the music was great. The character of Timmy Chalamet, once again, just becomes that character of Willy Wonka. Does such a good job, and I feel like I was connected a little more to him than I was in the original Willy Wonka or the horrible Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So yeah, Wonka's great. My number 3, which the last 3 movies are movies that were in my top 10 the last 3 years. My number 1 movie is the last 3 years. My number 3 is Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer was the Christopher Nolan directed film about Richard Oppenheimer, about how he helped build the nuclear bomb. But then there's also some multiple timeline, very Christopher Nolan stuff going on in this film that I absolutely love. Cillian Murphy kills it as Richard Oppenheimer. Christopher Nolan kills it as the director of the movie. And also a bunch of supporting characters were really good in this movie as well. So Oppenheimer was definitely a great movie. Glad Christopher Nolan won that Oscar for this film, and I'm looking forward to his next movie, which I believe is about the Odyssey, which I'm totally down for. My number 2 is Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick was a movie that I was really worried about when it was coming out, and because really we're going to do a sequel to Top Gun after 20, 30 years, and the movie absolutely kills. The airplane scenes are great. The progression of the character of Maverick from the original to the new one is great. It's just, the entire movie just kills on its own, and I love Tom Cruise in the movie, and also all the other characters but Miles Teller's character was great. There's a bunch of other characters that was really good. I love Top Gun Maverick. It's a movie I haven't watched since I saw it in theaters, but I remember loving it, and I still love it to this day. And my number 1 movie of the decade so far was Dune Part 2. I mean, Dune was incredible. The first one was. But I felt like I didn't see the full movie. And when I saw Dune Part 2, I feel like I finally saw that completed version of the movie. The moment whenever he is running on the sand to get onto the snake thing and or the tunnel thing, I forget what they're called, to be honest with you. It's been a while since I've seen it. But I was just like, holy crap, that was amazing. But the characters are great. Paul Atreides, how he has to make that sacrifice, and in the end with Austin Butler's villainous character. Dune Part 2 It's everything a movie should be. It's everything a sci-fi movie should be. It's better Star Wars than the Star Wars I've been getting the last 10, 15 years. And it's just incredible film. Love Dune. And so far, it's my favorite movie of the 2020 so far. So guys, what's your favorite movie of the decade so far? What movies will make the final list in 5 years? That's 5 years away. Who knows? Who knows where we'll be in 5 years? That's crazy to think about. But whatever they are, comment below. Let me know. And guys, if you like the video, club, thumbs up, subscribe some more, and tell your friends about using Nation. All to be seen.